All right, so last week we ended speaking about not living paycheck to paycheck and how important it is to first have control over your cash flow, really have a system in place like we teach, and then to make sure that you have positive cash flow at the end of the month and start planning ahead. What is next on our list?
Well, next would be is not investing in retirement.
Okay.
I think, and a lot of people think just taking 15 or 20% of their salary, putting it into some RA or endowment, and they fine. I'm not saying, and I think I said this last week, I'm not saying that an RA and an endowment is wrong. I'm not saying that. But don't just rely on that, because let's just be practical here. You take 15 or 20% of your salary, you put it away. At 65, you expect to get your whole salary, and you've only saved 20% of it. I mean,
when does it become 20% become 100%?
Exactly. So I'm going to be straight there, and please don't take offense. Guys, get a reality check on that. That's not going to happen. So you need to find different ways. And again, I'm constantly throughout this whole program going to refer to our coaching model. And that's what we help people with, is create these multiple streams of income generating assets, and take bite sizes of your active income away every single month or every single year, and start creating your retirement through that.
Yeah. There's a couple of things that I want to add to what you're saying now. The first one is what I've been saying for quite a while already, is that we've been taught that saving is the answer.
Yeah.
Saving is the solution to retire. As long as you save enough, 10%, 15%, 20% of your salary, you will retire comfortably. And how I explain it to people is, if you want to build a brick wall, saving is not the wall.
Yeah.
So if retirement was the wall, saving is not all the bricks. So you need to use some of the other bricks that you have at your disposal. So what do people do? They use savings bricks to build their wall. They get to retirement and their wall is only half built, because savings bricks isn't alone. So you have to have different bricks that you use to build your retirement wall. Otherwise, you're not going to finish it.
Exactly.
And that's what we see every single day. So there's three types of assets that we teach. So the first one is capital assets, and that's what we've been taught since we were very small. Save, have enough capital in the bank or money in the bank, live off the interest. That's the simplified version of it. But people don't look at having business assets that generate income through leverage, having fixed assets. So you have to have three types of assets: capital assets, business assets, and fixed assets. And that's where it comes in, where you're saying create multiple sources of income as well. You can't just have one source of income. Another thing around that is, and this is something you would see when you start working with people from a financial planning perspective, and I've seen it in the 23, 22 years that I've been, is that people want to be passive investors. You sit with them and they say, well, I've got 1,000 Rand a month that I want to put away, and then just do something with it. Just put it away. So they sign a little form. The insurance company or the financial institution comes every month, takes the money out of their bank account, and they just hope to hell that they do something with the money.
Yes.
And then when they get to 65 and it's not enough, then it's everybody else's fault. Exactly. It's the insurance company who stole their money. It is the financial advisor that didn't do his job. It's everybody except them.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you cannot be financially successful if you don't, or if you want to be a passive investor. You have to become an active investor.
Exactly.
And becoming an active investor starts with a financial education. That doesn't mean you have to become a financial advisor, but it means you need to understand how these things work so that you can start making informed decisions and use these products on your terms, not the insurance company's terms, not the financial advisor's terms. And if you're not willing to do that, if you're not willing to learn, then you can't complain when you feel that they've done you in over the long term.
And on that is also ask questions. If a person says they're going to put your money somewhere and you're going to earn X, ask them to show you how that's going to happen. When is that going to happen? How long will it take before you actually earn X?
Yeah.
What happens if you pull your money out after 1 year or 2 years or 3 years? What are the parameters around the investment?
Exactly.
Because it's your money. It's not the guy that's investing your money. It's not his money. It's your money. So for him, he's doing the best he thinks hopefully hopefully he's doing the best for you, but if it doesn't suit your needs, then say no. There's no harm in saying no, and say
ask
no
questions.
Is there something else? Because if there is something else, find out about it. Don't let a person just come to you with one thing. Come to you with 2 or 3 different things. Ask about the risk, ask about the term, ask these questions, because then at the end of the day you can say, okay, I've done my due diligence, I'm happy with it, let's move forward for that amount of time, but also keep an eye on it.
Make and be able to make informed decisions. Another one I've got on here that ties in nicely to what we're talking about is overestimating the value of capital. That's one of the big money mistakes people make as well. And it comes into the person sitting with you and showing you, well, if you put away 1,000 Rand a month and you do it for 30 years or 20 years, it's going to give you 3 million Rand by the time you retire. And then you're going to get this bonus and this payback of your fees and everything they sell you. But we overestimate the value of that capital. So we say, 3 million, with 3 million Rand, I put it in the bank, 12 or 10% interest, that's 300,000 Rand per year, that's 25,000 Rand a month. I'll be fine with 25,000 Rand a month. But that's not how capital works. People completely overestimate the value of capital. And we've got a video that I'm not going to go into too much detail, but we've got a video on our YouTube channel called The Rule of Tens and the Rule of 300, where you can estimate what the actual value of capital is.
It's actually a shocker.
It
really is.
When you watch that, so simply the rule of 300 is when you have an amount of capital, if you want to know how much income it can sustainably generate, you take that capital and you divide it by 300. So you take 3 million Rand divided by 300, and that won't give you more than, what's that? The 300, that's 10,000 Rand a month.
Yeah.
That is it, with 3 million capital. And we're thinking that it should be able to give us 25 or 30,000 Rand per month. So it's very important to understand the value of capital, because this is what happens, and we call it the death spiral. So people have capital, they take more capital, more income than that capital can sustainably generate, which means the capital reduces over that year. Then the next year, they have to take even more income to make sure that they have enough with inflation, but there's less capital to generate that. So they have to take more of the capital to generate the income, which means the next year there's less capital available. And then they get into that death spiral.
And because there's less capital, the interest is less.
Exactly.
So it just falls.
It just gets less and less and less. And the problem is that it starts happening so slowly that people don't realize it initially, because it's a small amount and a small amount over a year. But after about 5 years, you're in the death spiral, and once they realize it, it's too late to get out of the death spiral. They're in that spiral, and that's it. Unless they go out and they sell their house and go live in a little plain little place, they start working again to generate alternative streams of income. Unless they do that, their retirement is ruined. And then the retirement is ruined in any case.
Exactly. And everything started with just putting, well, I've got an RA or an endowment. Sorry, I'm just going back to that always. And they think it's enough. And then when they realize, like you say, when they realize it's not enough, then that's too late. It's very hard.
The best time to start, it was 10 years ago. Second best time to start and do something different is now.
Right now.
I always say you can't change or solve a problem with the same things that created the problem in the first place. And that's sort of what's happening in the industry a lot of times, is they want to solve the problem exactly the same way with the same things that created the problem. And you can't just do more of something that created a problem and think that's now suddenly going to solve the problem. You have to do something different. And that is what we teach through our system and through the coaching, is an alternative method. And we're not saying, like you said rightfully, we're not saying don't save. We're not saying don't put money away. Don't save for retirement. What we are saying is that is not the complete picture. We're saying you need to do other things as well if you really want to get to a comfortable retirement.
But then on that as well, people then also make silly decisions, and they go after these other investments that are fly-by-nights, and the guys pack their bags and they fly with all the billions of rands that they've made, and they go and live in Greece or wherever, and no one can find them. So please be aware of that. You know, another thing, it's also easy to turn around and say, oh, well, that guy stole all my money. No, he didn't steal your money. You gave it to him.
Yeah.
So be careful on who you're going to go and invest with. You know, I'm not going to mention any names, but yes, be careful.
You're almost dead.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's so true. It is, again, you need to take responsibility as well. You made that decision. Doesn't matter who told you. You didn't do your homework. You didn't get your education up to understand. And again, we've got a video on our channel talking about how to spot a financial scam. Go watch that video. Even if you get approached by an investment opportunity, go watch that video and ask those questions. I think in that video I give you like 6 questions that you can ask to make sure that it's not a financial scam. So go watch that. I mean, the content is there. You don't have to be uninformed.
Yeah, no.
There's no reason to be uninformed.
I mean, you've always got that little saying, is if it all goes south, who do I sue to get my money back? Now, if there's no one you can sue to get your money back, well then, hey, don't put your money there. Because you've got not a leg to stand on. So be careful.